Hi, this is Jo. Welcome back to my Crochet Basics series. And what we're going to be looking at today is how to do a chain stitch. Now this is again a fundamental of crochet that you will need to learn to do any project. I pretty much guarantee that any project you do, whatever type of crochet you're doing, you will need to do a chain stitch at some point, even if it doesn't start with a chain stitch. So we've got our slip knot and our hook. So all we do, and what we're going to do as well, is look at how we hold the wool. So what we do is we wrap it around our little finger, like that, and then under our third finger, and then up over our second finger. So you can see you've got wrapped around the little finger, under the middle finger, and then over the second finger. And you use your first finger to control the tension of the wool. You'll find you moving your finger up and down a lot. So that's that. That's what it looks like on that side, and that's what it looks like on that side. Okay, so wrapped around the little finger, over under the ring finger or third finger, over the top of the second finger, and then to the hook. Now what I do as well is I hold whatever it is I'm working on here with the thumb and second finger of this hand that the yarn is on, to keep some tension here as well, because if you don't, it's so hard, especially when you're doing a chain, you end up trying and it pulls it all around, as you can see there. It's really difficult. So thumb and second finger hold that end of the whatever it is that you're working on. In this case it's the short strand of the wool. So hold that to help pull it tight. So that's that. Your hook hand, hold it however you want to hold it. Like I said, I hold it like this with my thumb there and my first finger on the top there. And what I tend to do while I'm working is put my finger on the loop that's over the hook, just to give it a bit of guidance and just to mainly guidance and a little bit of extra control over the stitch there. So that's how we're holding it. So we've got our yarn wrapped around our fingers there, like that, and then I'm holding the short piece of wool between my thumb and second finger like that. So I'm keeping that tension nice and tight, and then finger on the top of the hook there. If you can, up whatever finger's comfortable, then you do it like that to hold the yarn at the top. So what we're going to do, this is now the chain stitch. So we've got our slip knot, so this is a loop, we call it a loop. Once it's on the hook like that, we call it a loop. Okay, and what we're going to do is something that you will see a lot in patterns and in descriptions. It's called yarn over. So what you do is you take your yarn, use your finger to guide, and you go over the hook, just like that. So bring it over the hook from back to front. Okay, back to front. And then what you do is use your finger here and your finger and thumb here, and you get it so that this yarn over that you've just done slides under the hook of the crochet needle. And then you take the head of the hook through the loop that's on the hook, like that. Okay, so now you can see we've got this little chain stitch there. So yarn over, back to front, slot it under the head of the crochet hook, and then pull it. And this is where your thumb and forefinger on here will come in very useful. You need to try and keep your chain stitches a little loose, not tight. If you do them too tight, you won't be able to work into them when we need to. So what you need to do is keep them as loose as you can. That's what this thumb and forefinger here is really good for. Is for pulling the work down a little bit. So can you see now we've got that gap there? If you don't do that and you just leave it, your chains are going to be too tight. So what you do is you pull that down a little bit like that. So you've got a nice gap there. It's easy to get your hook through when you pull it through. But it also means that when you need to work into your chain stitches later on, they're easy to get to. So yarn over. And like I said, pull that down a little bit so that you got that nice gap under the hook there. Slot the yarn over under the crochet hook head and then pull it through. Okay, so you can see you've got a nice chain there. It's really easy to do your chains too tight, so get used to the flow, if you like, of doing the stitch first and then get used to the tension. Get used to the stitch first. So it's yarn over, back to front. Pull this away from the hook a little bit and through. Okay. So you can see now we've got 1, 2, 3 chains. So yarn over, back to front. Pull this away a little bit under the hook there and then pull that through the loop. Okay. And then we do one more. So yarn over, back to front. Pull that down a little bit. So we've got that nice gap there. Put your yarn over under the head of the hook and then pull it through there. Okay, one more. Yarn over, front to back, and then through the hook. Yarn over, pull it away, through the hook. What you've got to be careful is that you don't make your chains too loose as well, because when you come back and work in them, it will show up and it won't look very nice. So it's getting that balance right. So which you will learn as you practice more, but you need to get that balance right. So you need to be able to clearly see these humps, if you like, at the top there. Then that's what you count. When you need to do so many chains, that's what you're counting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so we're going to go one more, yarn over, put it under the head of the hook, pull this down a little bit, make that gap, and then pull through. Okay, so one more, yarn over, pull that away from the hook a little bit, under the hook there, and then through. Okay, so that's the start of our chain. So this is kind of, it's a bit loose there, never mind, but the rest, that's what we're kind of aiming for. And just keep practicing. Yarn over, pull it away, through. Yarn over, pull it away, through. The trick is when you're pulling your hook through the hoop on the needle is to turn the needle that way a little bit. So you kind of sit with it like that. But as you do the stitch, turn it slightly so that the hook is going into this bit with the hook down, so it's not catching on the loop as it goes through. So I'll show you what I mean. Yarn over, pull that away a little bit. Now if I leave it there, it's going to miss the hoop. See? Oops. There we go. It's going to miss the hoop because it's going to get stuck under the hook with the yarn over. So by turning it slightly that way, so we were there, we're turning it like that, so it's going straight, sorry about the focus, straight into there like that. So let me show you again, hopefully without it going in and out of focus. So yarn over, pull it away. Now that, watch where my hook head is, it's there. I'm going to turn it slightly that way and then in the hoop like that. Okay, so yarn over, pull it away there, under there with the yarn over, turn the needle head slightly and over like that. Okay, so just keep practicing with that.